Yugalbar Station is a station in the northeastern corner of New South Wales. It's a station that has been owned essentially by two families for all of its 175 years. Firstly, the Ogilvie family, who squatted the land in the middle of the 1800s and who bought sheep and cattle onto the approximately 300,000 acres of the settlement or the squatting area that Edward Ogilvie squatted. He farmed the property for a considerable period of time, and there was then the Horden and the Meyer family who bought the property again around the middle of the 1900s, and it's been in that family's hands for well over now 60 years. So essentially Yugalbar Station has been in two families' hands for most of its 175 years of history.
On average, we run approximately 5,500 Seneca Troodos cattle primarily, crossbreeding with some Charolais, Angus and Hereford cattle. In addition, we crop 4,000 acres on average on an annual basis. We have 24 kilometres of the Clarence running through the property and 18 kilometres of the Washpool Creek.
Do you remember us talking about ranch cutting and thinking about it for many years?
I think I do. We've talked about it over a number of years, but I think last year was really the first year.
Last year was the first year. We'd been thinking about how to create new life on Yugalbar, how to bring the sport which we all love, cutting, to Yugalbar. And so we began to nurture the idea of ranch cutting at Yugalbar.
The prototype was hatched by King Ranch. Originally they had just the idea of working a really big herd of cattle out in the open. It was done down at the Laurellis division by old Buster Welch, and they did it for a number of years in a row down there. They went down, had mobs of up to 1,500 standing in one thing there with about 40 Mexicans around it, and they worked some really great horses there, Little Peppy, Mr. San Peppy.
Last year I'd heard how much fun everyone had and we couldn't wait to give it a try. So just working with big mobs of cattle, a great group of stockmen here, and you know, seeing a beautiful line of Seneca Troodos cattle.
The steers they've been using today and the heifers, they're the baseline of the commercial cattle. They're basically all this year's weaners. Well, they are practically, yeah. And we've just got the steers in one group and the commercial heifers in the other. Yeah, they're all the straight Santa heifers, no crossbreds. They're all up the other end of the place at Talunky.
Being able to come onto this magnificent place, I mean, it is without question one of the great properties of this nation. So, in fact, just being here, being with the great staff on the station, the cattle, the facilities, and the generous hospitality of the family. Wonderful.
You know, Yugamar is a very special place for the family, and for Sydney and I think we had our first weekend here when we dated back 33 years ago. So it really represents a very special part of our lives. And to be able to realise this cutting school or cutting event, which means it gives us an opportunity to be here and to share it with like-minded horsemen and good friends, it makes for one of the great remote experiences. And we all lead a very busy and hectic life in down south, and to actually be able to come up here and relax and do things that I know Sydney in particular loves to do, it's very special.
We've got a wide cross section of people. We've got professional trainers that come along and they work their horses. It gives them an opportunity to put some miles under some young up and coming prospects. In addition to that, we have a number of non-pro riders that come along, and they have the benefit of enjoying the tuition of some of the best professionals in the country.
All the way, all the way, all the way. Perfect, don't park him. Good.
Well, my wife comes to the event, and Fee rides with us here and enjoys herself. In fact, she's got one of our great horses tomorrow to ride, Linkaflex, which
Feeling sorry for Linkaflex at this point.
No, he's looking very much forward to riding to seeing you on top and riding. Very much so. No, he was well primed today. He had a couple of good runs today.
Oh, very good.
So all is good.
Right.
We all love coming here because as we've had this year for the first time, we've introduced what we call the 2-year-old boot camp. And that's a great time when we bring the young horses. Now all the horses we've had here this year will be competing in the 2016 NCHA Futurity. And these days we tend to put so much emphasis on the competition side of cutting horses that we don't even give the sort of the good basics of riding a horse out, getting good mustering, just getting good general riding. So this weekend here gives us the opportunity to have these young talented horses that we think are the pick of the year that we'll be taking to the Futurity, but yet they're having the experience of the weekend of just being normal horses, doing jobs on the property, and then also having a little bit of cutting training where it all started. This is all very natural training, and the work they're getting here at Yugamar is how the cutting event actually started.
Well, we get some expertise commentary from people like Rob Mackay and Jason Leach, Robbie Hodgman, Phil Dawson, and all these great trainers. So, and you learn from everyone. I suppose I've learned most of my career from cutting from Jason Leach, but you pick up little things from all trainers, and you're able to ride your horses, go and muster, come down, cut, learn a lot.
I love this event. I think it's a great opportunity to marry my interest with the horses and also see the beautiful property that is Yugamar. It's fun because it combines mustering cattle, understanding a little bit more about the property and the history of the place, but at the same time I also get to enjoy riding my horse, and I get great lessons and access to a lot of professional trainers who are giving me great advice on how to train my horse better.
Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Forward, forward, Leanne, a little bit to sideways. Forward, forward, forward. Good, excellent. Try and hold him in that stop over there a little bit if you can. You can feel him rolling around. We want to get him stopped and have him wait in that stop for just a hair, just a little split second.
Well, I think for the non-pros, they get a bit of instruction and they get to kind of meet with us trainers when there's not a lot of pressure on. You know, a lot of times we only meet, unless they're our clients, we only meet other people in the industry when we're at major shows, but there's a lot of pressure on us, whereas here we can kind of let down, and I think, you know, both them and us get to see a different side of each other.
You don't have to do anything else to what you just did. You just held her a little bit, make her hold that ground. The first move is a draw.
To have a couple of different trainers who we're not always involved with clinics and that sort of thing, just to get a few different ideas and a different way of explaining what someone else may have tried to explain to us.
you know, you got some of the probably the best horse trainers in this country, and it's really good just to listen, watch and learn off those guys. Like, even though it's a different sport to what we participate in, it's still really good. You know, they show a great display of horsemanship.
I don't ride a lot because I live in the city, obviously, so to come here you can squeeze a lot of riding in 48 hours. And I really love the horses and look at the property, it's just spectacular. So to come up here and ride in these conditions and muster and spend time with some really good people, I think that's the special thing for me.
I think the horses get a tremendous amount out of it. Yeah, it's the making of some of them, really. They're particularly the 2-year-olds come over here and they're sort of prancing around, looking all over the place the first half a day, and for the next 2 or 3 days they get some good hard work, and everything's sort of got a reason, and away they go. And by the time they go back on the truck to go home, they're like old show horses.
Oh, look, for my horses, you know, I made 2 through to the final of the Futurity last year at Tamworth, and I believe this helped me heaps, because at home we do a lot of schooling, but it's always in the yard. Here we get to spend some time on those horses, and we get them tired just riding them all day. So, you know, I only bring young horses here. I don't bring any old horses, and it just does them the world of good.
The second one's been a bigger event than last year. We've involved this year some more temporary accommodation with the glamping tents, and that's been a new innovation for us, and been quite a hit with some of the visitors that are staying in those this year. So it's a way of being able to have everybody stay in the station, utilise the infrastructure we have, and have a good time.
Well, it's not all about horses. We're fortunate enough. I'm not much of a fisherman, but Sid's got a fishing guru in here, Matthew, who's going to take us fishing. And I said, mate, if you can get me to catch a fish, then you're not too bad.
I think what's great about the ranch cutting is that it combines a social aspect, so there's lots of fantastic people that you meet from all walks of life, and really we all cultivate at Yugulbar, and it's a great chance to enjoy our passion together, which is the horses, and then there's also this fantastic social aspect. So you know, we work the horses in the day, and then we enjoy each other's company at night and enjoy the great entertainment that that obviously the ranch provides.
It's great to have you all here enjoying what the station's all about.
A few words, I think that's probably not right. I'd buckle yourselves in. I'm probably going to be here for about another 20 minutes or so. Thank you all for joining us. I'd like to welcome you all and echo Rob's welcome to everybody. New faces here, a lot of old faces here, and it's just simply fantastic to see you at Yugulbar. Rob nailed it, I think, when he said, listen, this is all about enjoying what Yugobar's got to offer. It was last year, it will be this year, and we hope it'll be in the future years to come. This year there is new stuff. Amber, welcome.
Gotten a bit sunburnt out there and out there on the land, and had a swim in the river and saw a red-bellied black snake and sleeping in a tent, a very nice tent by the way. But I'm a country singer, so you know I'm used to these awesome country experiences, but nothing quite like this beautiful place and this really unique event, and just having a ball and feel really privileged to be invited.
Scream out loud to the whole world. All that I know that it's true is I will love you. I can't say what tomorrow brings. I can only promise this one thing. No matter where we go or what we go through, I will love you.
Unfortunately, I don't have a very good voice. I'm not one of the singers, but yeah, the entertainment is really good up at the big house up there. You can see behind, and you know the My family has been fantastic. You know, with their generosity, the food and the entertainment, and of course the company.
There'll be something inspired out of this trip. You know, the people I've met. You know, the ranch boys, the boys that work the farm, all the wonderful people that are training, or you, both of you. Yeah, it's been great. I've had a ball.
A very, very tightly held context, and so I'm going to make a special mention of the runner-up today, because we didn't have a runner-up last year. Most will know last year John Keats on Presky, you know, had a magnificent run, in most cases without a bridle, but it was such that it attracted the judges' attention, and on this occasion it's in fact Martin Moran. Marty Moran. Marty, it's yours. All right, it's yours. The cleanest run. All right.
Doing things that you don't understand. But if you love him, you forgive him. Even though he's hard to understand.
This is our second year. We're looking forward to our third year. I've already begun to think about different ways in which we might be able to develop our third year. And after that, who knows? But I think what we're building here is a really interesting experience and a really great opportunity for people to get together and have fun on horses. And from there, I think the opportunities are quite limitless.